According to mythology, Mercury gave Pandora a box and said, "Don't open it." But Pandora opened the box, unleashing sorrow and misfortune. Feeling for Pandora, one more thing was put in the box. Hope. Hope gave people the strength to overcome, rebuild, and prosper. Your inner strength, our financial strength. AIG, the strength to be there.
Chris, wasn't this a West Wing episode?
It was. I saw this. There was a tornado in Oklahoma, and Martin Sheen, he plays the president. He flew down, and he was giving everybody personal counseling. And Stockard Channing, she's the first lady. She had to get on the phone and tell him to go do his job, be president.
Which, of course, was as realistic as his commercial.
Well, I think it's interesting that they have decided to focus on this tornado kind of community instead of the Katrina community. We've been focused so much on the mass devastation related to that, and it was very, very obvious that this wasn't Katrina. This was an entirely different situation. So I think that was an interesting choice.
Why was that obvious?
Because there's only white people in this act.
and there's hills in the background. It's definitely not. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But it kind of came across like we're just like the Red Cross, except we're in it for the money.
Exactly. That was the thing. We were watching this as if they were telling us that AIG is doing the helping, but they're not. And then, but then there's not a character who's doing the helping either, where we're supposed to be inspired by. So there's a whole disconnect of the activity that's going on in the commercial versus, you know, the viewer.
Well, your point is well taken, but I have to say that I think that they are evoking Katrina clearly in this, and that's so palpable that I feel it's really opportunistic, and I think it's kind of nervy for an insurance company to present themselves as anybody altruistic and helpful, especially when in disasters like Katrina, the insurance companies were the first ones to start bailing.
Oh, yeah.
And to say, oh, wait, this is an act of God, and that's prevented by this clause and that clause and what have you. What I do find interesting is their reference to mythology at the top, because that's exactly what they're trying to create, is their own little myth of what they as an insurance company do, how good we are for people, how much we help people, yada yada, bloody bloody.
I don't know much about mythology, but it seems to me if Mercury's given gifts that include, what is it, pain and devastation, I can't remember the exact words, but it kind of reminds me of that song, "Take These Broken Wings and Learn to Fly." It's like, that's not much of a gift.
Well, the emphasis really, even the language in this talks about people being able to help themselves. And I thought that's such a different kind of perspective than what we've been seeing related to these kinds of devastation images. We talk about, like you even referenced the Red Cross, where there's people going in and helping out and sharing in community. And this was, if you prepare, you can help yourself.
Right. The visuals offer a whole new level of mythology in this ad. The self-reliant frontiersman, where the community comes together and raises a barn. I especially like when they write the school bus. You know, it's muscle-powered, it's people working together to put things back on track.
Yeah. They don't show all the looting and the rioting.
Which is another way of helping yourself.
I'm assuming they just have the time, you know. But, yeah, it's pretty interesting. But I'm seeing it a lot in advertising, which is where there are things that are either rather arcane or rather dry. And so you get people compelled by these products or services you're offering that don't have any real emotional connection. And that's what they're trying to do there, is sort of just create some emotional response to something and then slap their name on it. So
but I think they do a very good job of evoking an emotional response, but not scaring us. Like they are showing something that should be very, very frightening, right? If this can happen to you, which is usually what insurance companies do. They say, you know, be afraid, be very afraid, and protect yourself. And here they're saying, you know, you can actually take some kind of action and do something proactive.
See, I didn't see it as the actual community helping their own community. I thought it was somebody from the outside coming and helping because it wasn't scary. You know,
well, this isn't actually a commercial in that it's not advertising a product or a service. It's actually a PR job. Is what this is all about. We're good.
We're good people.
We help you do what you do. You know, this is good for life. It's good for America. It's all that sort of stuff. But there's absolutely no information about any of their actual products or services. So it's a total PR job.
Like almost all property insurance companies, AIG also sells life insurance. So I think it's interesting that this ad also invites us to think about that kind of disaster, personal death, which
As opposed to impersonal.
right. they have their tagline, "The strength to be there."
Right.
They're actually selling you products from when you don't have the strength to be there.
When you're not there anymore. Leave some assets behind.
It's really not that they have the strength to be there. They have a contractual obligation to be there. It's the real tag.
Right.
Yeah, and as long as they're solvent and they meet their obligations, they should be there. But anyway, time for our exit question. Mercury told Pandora to not open the box. Chris, what have you been told to not do?
Don't use television to make fun of television commercials.
Kim,
Don't eat yellow snow.
Nana,
Don't talk about my dog so much.
Paul.
What was the question again?
What have you been told not do?
This show.
Don't go within 100 feet of Emily.